Right, so Stitch is in the game. Season 3 has been going for quite a while now, and I haven't done any videos on it, weirdly enough. And the reason for that is I've just not had a TV for most of the month. Technical issues, you know, behind the scenes stuff that still isn't 100% resolved. But yeah, that's boring behind the scenes stuff that you probably don't want to hear about. But what you probably have come to the video for is to know whether Stitch is good or not. And the easy answer is yes. Stitch is very good. Is he the best character in the game? No. I don't think he is. Is he the best Lilo and Stitch character? Debatable. People are saying that Angel's very good as well. I've only just unlocked her, so I haven't really had that much testing done. But oy, oy, oy. I haven't really done much testing with Angel, but what I've played of Stitch, which is most of the season tour, I'm very happy with his performance. He's very good. Easily like A tier. Possibly S. I think the only thing maybe holding him back is his combat stat, which I guess balances him a bit. I don't know why I've done that. Yeah, you want to use the charge. Pretty much every time you want to use the charge. If you don't have his unique, which I think everyone has his unique at this point. But if you still don't for some reason, then he's not... You're not going to find that much use in him. His unique is definitely the best thing in his kit. As is with most characters. Not all characters, but most characters. But I would say that if you're unlucky with drops, then and you don't get his unique that often, that may be detrimental. At least at the moment. Because he's another speedster that doesn't get 2 boosts. And I find that those kind of characters, all of the characters that get the... Basically, this game's equivalent to the mushrooms. every character that gets those are kind of at a disadvantage. Thankfully, his unique is so good. He does have pretty decent handling as well, so he's not at a disadvantage on like a really narrow track either. I'd say the narrow tracks are probably better because his unique bounces off walls. Ow. And he's invulnerable while doing it. So if you go into a tentacle or the train or any kind of obstacle while you've got his unique going, you're gonna be fine. So yeah, I'm very happy with how Stitch is, with his performance and everything. He does really well. I want to get a W. I want to get a win before the end of the video. Yeah, there's not really much more to say about Stitch. He's just good. He's just a good, simple character. I do think with all of the Lilo and Stitch characters, they've done really well with the animations this time. And if they're doing animations that are this crazy in Season 3, and the game's not even a year old yet, what are the animations going to look like in Season 4? What are they going to look like in a potential Season 6? You know, it's always why in games like this, which are like live service stuff, it's always why you want your favorite characters or characters that are crazy to be released later on, because their animations can be suitably as crazy as they should be. I think they've already done a good job, and they've already got like a few characters which do have like insane looking unique skills. Like Steamboat P, who I'm definitely going to do a video on soon, has like the craziest animations in the game, I think. But when looking at characters who can come in the future, like a Maleficent, like Little Mermaid characters, like Moana characters, characters from Frozen, you know, their skills can or will then look all the more spicy because they're coming out when the dev team has, or when there's more a higher expectation for characters to look crazier, and when the developers are more, you know, the animation team are more to grips with making really cool animations. And if they're already looking this good so early on in the game's lifespan, then, you know, they're only going to get crazier. It's kind of like the Avengers thing. Or unfortunately they peaked too soon. And I hate making so many Avengers callbacks or comparing everything to Avengers. But that was my game for like 3 years. That was like what I was making content for that game for 3 years, so I can't just forget about it. I'm gonna, even something like this, I'm gonna compare to it in a positive way. I'm comparing this to it in a positive way. And then it's like comparing an apple to a steak kind of thing. It's like they're completely different. They're from completely different shops. But it's still like live service. So they have that in common at least. Ow. Oh dear.
Anyone want some Herculade for the road?
Yeah, I'm not really showing Stitch off at his best today, but it's more just me than the character. I promise Stitch is great, but I'm just playing really badly.
So.
I'll take third, to be honest. I'll take third, but I wanna get a win before the end of the video. Sorry, there's just not too much more to say. It's just Stitch is good. I am interested in getting a bit more hands-on with like Jumba and Gantu, because I haven't really gotten much out of them two characters. Jumba's interesting because he can, like,
Are there any jumps on this one?
because he completely changes how races work. Because his unique is basically just a blue shell. So shot that will target whoever's in first. So it's really I don't know if it is that useful. Like if you're in last and you're targeting someone in first, I don't know how useful it would be. But like the charge version is like an explosion behind you. So that's kind of more useful, in my opinion. The only thing with Stitch's unique is you don't get a speed boost from it. That's probably the only thing. But then again, you're stunning so many people that you don't really need this. You're gonna get a boost, or you're gonna keep filling your boost bar anyway. Jumba's probably the worst character. Not Jumba. Gantu is probably the worst character of the season. I also think Lilo probably is as well. Like, a lot of people singing Lilo's praises. I haven't... From what I've played of her in Regulated, she doesn't seem great at all. She seems kind of like... Her charged is like Goofy's non-charged, where it does... You kind of lose control of your vehicle a bit. And or you lose control of Lilo, and it just forces you down a certain path. It'll always go the best path, but I don't like the... And it seems slower than your usual speed. It's supposed to be a speed boost, but it seems slower than per usual. What is going on? The servers have, this is a thing, and it's actually a good opportunity to talk about this. The servers are really bad recently. Really bad. Like the day that I actually came back to the game, when my TV got back, an hour I was on the front loading screen for, on the startup screen. It's just a lot of connection issues, and I'm not the only person having them. The game just isn't syncing up for anyone. And it seems to be a PlayStation problem. It seems to be a PS5 problem. But it's just quite annoying that that's happening. I can see why, but the fact that that's happening so close to global launch, global free-to-play, and the game going on mobile is not a very good sign of if we're struggling to connect and we're having to time out certain players already while the game is in pseudo beta, while the game is in open beta, and while it's player base is already by design smaller than it should be, if we're already having connection issues now, how bad are those connection issues going to be when the player base like the player base undoubtedly will get bigger once the game goes free to play. Obviously it will. Every game once it goes free to play gets bigger, and that's kind of my worry with this. If we're already having connection issues now, how bad are they going to be in the future? Like, the characters could be great. The characters coming out could be great. The tracks could be amazing, right? But all of that means nothing if you can't play it because you can't get into a game. Oh my god. But yeah, outside of that, I think what they've done with the Lilo and Stitch characters, I think I'll just take the rest of this video to just talk about the rest of the Lilo and Stitch characters in general. Well, Lilo and Stitch collection. I think in my opinion, Lilo is not fun to play. I don't think. Like, maybe she gets better at higher stars. Maybe she gets better like at 3 stars, level 30. But like, I want a character that's good from the offset. Jumper's interesting. Jumper is very interesting with how he can like manipulate the way a race is actually played, and like just having the option of having a blue shell that you can use, often is quite good. His handling freaking sucks. Obviously, as a heavy character, you know, they are quite they're always at a disadvantage. They need to be crazy good and have a crazy good unique like Sully and Pete to be even thought of as good. Gantu, from what I've played of Gantu, he seems fine. He's not good, and I think compared to other brawlers, he's not up there with them. Compared to like Jesse, Pete, Sully, Donald, even. I would put him in the same camp, honestly, because I think he does actually have a quite similar thing to Hercules. I would put him in the same camp as Hercules, honestly. And I think I'm probably going to bump up Hercules in the next tier list that I do anyway. Angel I haven't played enough of to really have much of a opinion on the character. I think she's okay. She's got pretty decent stats, and Trickster's always good at keeping boost. And the thing about Tricksters, what makes any Trickster that comes out now really really good or really advantageous or anything, is that the base Tricksters, the Tricksters that have come out in the game previously, have all sucked. So Tricksters already have less of a gate to get through. Like defenders, you've got to be as good or better than Buzz. You know, speedsters, you've got to be as good or better than, you know, Mickey. Steamboat Mickey. You've got to be as good or better than Mike. And no speedster has done that. I think now Stitch is another character to add to that list of characters you've got to be on par with in the speedster category. I think Angel is the only character that you've kind of got to be on par with in the Trickster faction. And maybe Daisy. We haven't really seen much of what she can do. She's basically just Donald. She's basically the same as Donald. She's like the first Echo character. I think the biggest thing that's getting Lilo down is just being a speedster and coming out at the same time as Stitch, and being a speedster when there are so many good ones already in the game. Like, speedsters and brawlers are the best class in the game. At least with defenders, you've only got one. With defenders, you've only got one character to be better than or to be on par with. You've only got one shiny example of, like, this is what a defender should be. With brawlers, you've got to be on par with Sully. To be honest, you've got to be on par with Sully. You've got to be on par with Jesse. You can either be, if you're a heavy brawler, you've got to be on par with Sully. If you're a fast, like, medium or like small brawler, which, to be honest, small characters are not going to be brawlers unless they put, like, Bolt in the game. But I think Bolt is going to be a speedster or defender. But I don't see that happening anyways. But yeah, I think you need to be on par with either Sully or Jesse to even be considered as a worthy investment. So yeah, the only reason why I'm only making a video on Stitch is because A, I don't have any of the other characters at 3-star yet. I may come back and do videos on the other characters at 3-star yet, but at the moment, what I would say is put all of your resources and all of the Lilo and Stitch stuff that you get from the season tour, from the Golden Pass, everything you get from the Golden Pass, and everything you get from events, put it all into Stitch, because he is the shiny character to get, or to build this month, or this season. Stitch is the way to go. Whereas last season you kind of had both Jesse and Buzz were the two really good characters. I would say Stitch is very good. Stitch is the one character I would say build this month. They've done a really good job with the animations this month, but I think Stitch is the only one that's actively viable. And maybe Angel, if you get lucky with pulling her shards from the boxes, then maybe you can put some stuff into her as well. But I wouldn't put anything into Gantu. I wouldn't put anything into Jumba. I would steer clear of Lilo as well. But everything else, just put it into Stitch, because Stitch is great. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Bye.